Welcome to another edition of Let's Play WWE 2015. We are at the first Raw post-Survivor Series, and we are looking forward now to the last pay-per-view of the year, TLC, as we attempt to sort everything out that happened or that has happened in the last couple of weeks. So, without further delay, let's get the show underway. Well, I'm gonna go quick through these pre-show matches as Justin Gabriel defeats Adam Rose in what was a pretty average pre-show match, and the same can be said for Joe Hennig, who defeats Alex Reynolds in an average pre-show match. But then we jump right into the first segment of the show with The Authority, as you have the self-proclaimed undisputed future of the WWE in Seth Rollins, claiming that nobody is more deserving of the opportunity to face Brock Lesnar at TLC more than Seth Rollins. But Hunter and Steph say that it is not up to them, it is up to Vince McMahon, who will face Brock Lesnar at TLC. You'll find out next week. Other than that, it is for more or less the usual Authority segment. But, well, I guess you could still call this the usual Authority segment because there's a babyface interrupting the segment. And Dolph Ziggler is out saying, rightfully so, that he deserves a rematch against The Miz because The Miz cheated and used underhanded tactics to beat Dolph Ziggler. And Triple H, references Triple H references the quote from the philosopher who is escaping me right now, but the person who said only the strong survive. And then Triple H quotes himself saying, "Evolve or perish. This is the WWE, and competition is what we thrive on. So if you want another shot at your Intercontinental title, then what you need to do, Dolph, is win a fatal four-way number one contender match later tonight." And now you might say, well, that's only a triple threat. Yes, the match consists of Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, Titus O'Neil, and a surprise return for the fourth member of this fatal four-way, which you won't find out now. You'll have to wait to find out. But now we move to our first match tonight, and it is the new WWE Divas Champion Natalya up against Summer Rae, and Natalya is victorious pretty quickly against Summer. But much like a lot of things in WWE, it's the segment that makes the match, as Nikki while Natalya is celebrating, Nikki comes out and offers her fake congratulations to Natalya for winning the WWE Divas title last night at Survivor Series. And she tells Natalya, "You don't fit as Divas champion. You're not a real diva. You don't belong with that title. I do. And when me and you get in that ring, I will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that I am the embodiment of a diva, and therefore deserve that title more than you ever will." Now you might be thinking, that was a stupid promo. Your opinion, not mine. As we continue on, we see the Dust Brothers make their way to the ring and offer an open challenge to anybody in the backstage area, any team employed by WWE, as the Dust Brothers are out to prove beyond a shadow of it. I gotta stop saying that. Prove that why they are carrying these tag team titles, and they hold up the tag team titles over their heads. And the Motor City Machine Guns, Shelly and Sabin, accept the Dust Brothers challenge, and the Dust Brothers defeat the Guns to retain the WWE World Tag Team titles one night after defeating the New Day to win back the tag team titles. Now we move backstage with Renee Young and Titus O'Neil, as Renee not only asked Titus about his challengers tonight in Dolph Ziggler and the possible challenge of facing The Miz, but she also asks what winning the number one contender match tonight would mean for Titus O'Neil. And Titus basically says, "I've been a part of WWE for a long time. I never thought that success was easy. But success is defined by the person who achieves it, and I define success different than everyone else because I think I've achieved success. This is just icing on the cake." And then I would have him do his bark, but be interrupted by The Miz. And The Miz would warn Titus of what he did to keep his title, and in many ways screw Dolph out of getting his title shot or getting his title back. Miz finishes the segment by saying this is his Intercontinental title, and it's going to take a lot more than a barking former football player to beat him for it. I'll get to this in a second, as you can see who the surprise was. But I'll get to that in a second. I just want to say with The Miz, you go back 3 years. What, that would be 2011, 2012? The Miz not only was one of the most credible heels in the company, but was one of the top heels in the company. If I can give him back half the credibility that he had Even 2 years ago, I'd be happy because I would have a credible heel to help me, other than Seth Rollins and other than Rusev, to help build people. Because right now, as you can tell by how the shows have been going, Rusev does nothing. Because it is very difficult to book a guy who's undefeated and holds a championship, and when he loses his first match, it's supposed to have somewhat meaning, because very likely when he loses his first match, it will be when he loses the United States title. So it's very tough to book somebody like Rusev, but that's where Miz would come in, because he would give me a credible heel to book like he used to be. Now, as you can tell, Titus O'Neil is the one who won the Fatal 4-Way number 1 contender match and will get his shot against The Miz for the Intercontinental title. And you might be wondering, what about D. Young? Well, think about it. Darren Young didn't come back until, I want to say either late 2014 or early 2015. Either way, there's still a couple weeks before Darren Young would come back, and even after Darren Young comes back, if Titus is in the middle of a singles push, I can give him a chance as a singles wrestler. He doesn't have to go automatically back into a tag team. WWE put him back into a tag team because they weren't doing anything with him as a single superstar. If I change that and do stuff with him, then I have no reason to put him back with Darren Young. But either way, for right now, Titus is going to be a single star, as he will get the next shot against The Miz for the Intercontinental title. And now we cut to a normal Wyatt family promo that you see almost on a weekly basis on Monday Night Raw. And much like it is in real life, I would give Bray and the family complete control over the segment, because they know a lot better what they want to say than I know what they want to say. Yes, I might be head of creative, but that doesn't mean I have to write word for word everything people say. I'm better off not writing everything and giving them the opportunity to write for themselves. You know, that's how it should be. Freedom helps. Not only does it make it easier for me, but it makes it easier for them, because they may seem more engaged. You know, and it could help, you know, in the long run. As we move forward, we move to the broadcast position with Michael, JBL, and Booker as they discuss how mysterious the Wyatt family has been over the last couple of weeks, starting with promos before Survivor Series by Rowan and Harper, and now adding Bray into the mix. The Wyatt family is being very, very strange and very, very mysterious over the last couple of weeks. I guess you could say they're being the Wyatt family. And now we move to the next segment. With Kofi Kingston going up against Mark Henry. And Mark Henry is victorious. Why? Well, much like my logic of rebuilding, I guess you could say rebuilding The Miz, I have the logic of rebuilding Mark Henry. And, you know, it's all about credibility, and Mark Henry used to be one of the most credible people on the roster before they just started using him as a jobber to put over other talent, because he had no direction. Now, you can't see because it's cut off on the bottom, but this match actually starts a feud with the New Day. Because post-match, Mark Henry is distracted by Xavier, which allows Kofi and Big E to attack Mark. And the three of them put the boots to Henry and leave him laying as the New Day is looking to make an impact. And is looking to make an impact at the expense of the world's strongest man. And now we move backstage with our friends in the Authority, with Seth Rollins complaining about Kane's abuse of power recently and wants Stephanie and Triple H to do something about it. And Stephanie says, "My kids don't complain as much as you do, Seth. Kane is doing his job, and you need to learn what it's like to prove yourself, and Kane is doing that for you. And by the way, if you haven't heard, talent has been attacked. People have been taken out by this mysterious figure. Last week, SmackDown was hacked. We have bigger problems than handling your problems for you. Handle them yourself, because we have other things to do." The tension, this adds to the suspected tension among the Authority, and will continue to lead to the teased tension between Seth and Kane. And now we move to the second of two Divas matches tonight with AJ against Rosa. And, of course, AJ wins. And then post-match, AJ grabs a mic and as everyone knows, AJ isn't one to keep her mouth shut. And she does not sorry, I'm just trying to think of the words. She does not hold back in this promo on Nikki and Natalya, as she basically is, talking about what Nikki talked about earlier, with Natty not fitting the normal diva connotation like Nikki would, and AJ says something to the effect of, "Nikki, of course Natty doesn't fit the normal diva way people see divas. I don't either. It's because I can whip someone's butt in the ring or on the microphone. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm the best." And Natty just got one over on me last time at Survivor Series. But when I get back in the ring with her again, the result will be different, because I will win back my title. Then she basically tells AJ, "Well, AJ, that's going to be hard, because you're behind me in the running for that title, because I am going to prove, like I said earlier tonight, I am going to prove that I am the total diva." AJ then jumps on that and says, "Nikki, you don't need a title to prove that. You do that every single week on that stupid show. You prove you're the total diva, and you prove, you know what, Nikki? You may need a title to prove you're the total diva, because you really only prove right now that you're a total bitch. Because we don't need a title to show how good we are. You do. And now we move as a video package starts. Shows how much I care about the video package. A video package starts highlighting the eventual return of Roman Reigns, which will happen within the next couple of weeks, as Roman has been out since September, nursing a herniated disc in his back. That happened prior to Night of Champions, when he was supposed to step into the ring against Seth Rollins. And now, as you see, we move forward with the next match, and it is Jimmy Uso and the Usos against the Los Matadores, and the Usos are victorious against the Matadors. I do believe that this was the Usos' first win this year, or this season, since I started 3 weeks ago, and that's the reason why not only were they in this match, but why they got the win. Our next step on this, the first Monday Night Raw following Survivor Series, we move to, in many ways, our newest feud, storyline, whatever you want to call it, as Fandango is ready to move on. And not just from Layla, but from Fandango. What will happen in a few weeks? I mean, wait, ignore that. This willingness to change, for lack of a better word, is getting under the skin of Layla, who in all likelihood may not have a job if Fandango walks away from his dancing. But either way, we move forward after a solid segment with Layla and Fandango. We move ahead to the announcers discussing the main event tonight, Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose, and it was made by Kane, the director of operations. And now we move to the next segment, which sees Heath Slater go up against Fandango, and Fandango is victorious and makes pretty short work of the one-man band, baby. Fandango celebrates in the ring post-match, and that is when we get the opportunity to see what his segment earlier tonight with Emma was actually about. And in many regards, I think it had something to do with it may have something to do with what certain things WWE looks for in a diva, and then maybe, just maybe, times are changing. And now we move to the next match, which sees the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, up against the Swiss Superman, Cesaro. And much like little less, but still there, the reason Cesaro lost is because I have to ask, what is he doing right at this moment so he doesn't need good momentum? He doesn't need the opportunity to do good because he can come back, get the win back when he has something going on. But right now, The Miz takes the cake because The Miz and his credibility take precedent over almost everything else. And now we move up to the MLB standings, and we are back after a rough... I'm thinking of the wrong team. Sorry. Following the match between Titus and Cesaro, I apologize once again. The match between The Miz and Cesaro somehow locked the parents, rather, in the car, or the adults or the teenagers in the car, and they got out. Reverse. Reverse. But either way, we move on to this non-stop train passing by with one of the closing circuits, and that is New Day out cutting a promo for this, as Big E and Xavier defeat Zack Ryder and Santino Marella here on Raw, with Big E getting the victory over Zack Ryder. The reason for the match, it has to do with earlier tonight when Mark was attacked by the New Day. That's all I'm gonna say. And now we move on to highlights of Survivor Series, and if you want to know the part that Bray Wyatt played in Survivor Series this year, all you have to do is rewatch Survivor Series for $9.99 on the WWE Network right now. And that was one of their normal things building up the network. Now we move to back to the broadcast position, where the broadcast team is building up what should have been Mr. McMahon, but I chose to be Triple H, and an announcement set for next week as it pertains to who will be facing Brock Lesnar at TLC at the end of December. Jesus. What a... I really don't know what to say. This match should have gotten a lot better, but it didn't. I mean, the definite lack of psychology probably played a part, but it is almost impossible that it played the whole part in what was going on. Following the match, a pissed-off Seth Rollins makes his way backstage and runs into one of the road agents, specifically Finlay, and asks, "Where the hell is Kane? He just cost me my match. Where the hell is Kane?" Finlay basically says, he points in the general direction where Kane was, and before very much can happen, Seth Rollins is mysteriously attacked. And now I'm going to use this. Seth Rollins is attacked by somebody under a mask. The stalker, well, I don't want to say it's a stalker, but let's just say it is, for argument's sake. The stalker attacks Rollins from out of nowhere, is beating him up, and then abducts Rollins. The best... I mean, do I want to put Rollins outside? No, but would I say that maybe, just maybe, he's there in front of the big door when this happens, where this mystery guy could just run in the back of the arena and attack Rollins? Yes. But let's just say that, for argument's sake. The best connection I can make with this is, if you remember when Samoa Joe was abducted on TNA programming, yet in Samoa Joe's case, nothing came of it. In this case, something will. I give you my word. You just gotta give me an opportunity to make it happen, because slowly but surely, more and more will be found out and will be known about the mystery plaguing WWE right now, as we move back to the broadcast position one more time with JBL, Michael, and Booker T, as Michael signs off for this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, but not before hastily and puzzledly saying who took Seth Rollins, where did they take him, and what happens next. If you want to find out what happens next, come back next week and watch the next episode of Monday Night Raw of Let's Play WWE 2015, when I book WWE Raw next week, as the road to TLC is underway. And also next week, you will find that the announcement will happen who will face Brock Lesnar at TLC. Both Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman will be in attendance next week on Raw. But for this week, we increased our popularity in 14 regions and decreased in 16. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it until somebody hears me out. Oh, does this mean that I decreased in 2 regions because of 16 minus 2? I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's wrong. If somebody can give me if somebody can give me the go ahead or the okay or the, some indication that I'm right, that would be good. Drop that comment down in the comment section. And also, with that comment, let me know, what was your favorite part of the show? Do you think I did a good job of following up Survivor Series? And what would you have done different than I did? What would you have done different than I did? And anything else you want to put down in the comment section. But other than that, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Till next time. Later.